Today I'm showing you how to set up all the weapons for all the classes and all the perk trees for all the classes, showing you all the best weapons now that the melter rifle has been significantly nerfed and no longer the best weapon for multiple classes. So we're going to start with tactical and we're going to go through the perk tree. Now the first one will depend on what weapon you're using. If you're using the incinerator, you'll be taking that. If you're using the melter rifle, then you'll be taking the bonus damage. And if you're using, I forget the name of the bolt machine gun that I'll be showing you, you'll be taking that. Regardless of what weapon you use, we'll be taking this right here for 25% bonus damage after a gun strike. This is going to give us extra ammo. Every 30 seconds we get a full mag back. Really huge in getting all our ammo. Now, it's pretty hard to get contested health back right now. Either you get an execution, you get a gun strike, you get a couple heavy hits and real fast, or you just don't get your amount back. And if you get any of those, you're pretty much getting back all your contested health anyway. So, I mean, this still is really good given that we only get 5% bonus range damage or recoil. Recoil is not benefiting everybody. Range damage will benefit everybody, but not even everybody really 100%, and it's only 5%. So for those reasons, going to be going with the 30% more contested health. But honestly, the way the game currently is, 5% range damage isn't terrible as well. Now, to get the most out of our ability, we're going to be increasing the mark for 8 seconds. Every time we parry an enemy, we give the enemy a mark. So we're also going to be increasing it 100% damage. So anytime we parry anybody, we get 100% bonus damage on that enemy for 12 seconds. Also, whenever we actually use our ability, we also get 100% bonus damage for 12 seconds. And every 2 minutes, we can take out one major or extremist enemy simply by marking it and getting a headshot. And that also does work with the parry. The tactical class has a lot of different weapons. The best weapons being the plasma incinerator, which I'll show you how to build right here. Now, this gives us a decent amount of ammo. We're picking up one of the reserve ammo. This technically would give us 4 more shots, but we can't reach it. So we're basically taking the cooldown, we're taking more damage, we're taking the energy, charge faster, then we'll be taking charge faster when our health is low because we really don't need the extra ammo. We need to be able to shoot really fast if our health is low. Then we're getting more damage on the charge shots and reduced heat. Then more damage after dodging. Then we're going to pick up a little bit of speed on both the common and the charge shot. Now this actually makes landing your charge shots and your common shots a lot easier on a lot of the targets. And then we'll be taking shots charged 15% faster. Now if you really want, instead of this, you can get this one instead. That'll give you about 4 additional shots per refilling your ammo. Personally though, I don't think that's really needed. What you need is to be able to shoot really fast when you need to shoot and be able to land your shots. So that is how I built my plasma incinerator. And the secondary and melee weapon are the same for all. So right here is the melter rifle. Just to show you this build, going to go into this for too long because I've also done this on other videos for the melta, but that is the melta right there. We're taking 1 HP. You could alternatively take this one instead of this. That's a little bit dealer's choice. And lastly, we have the heavy bolt rifle. And for this one, we will be taking the extra mag as well. All these are the extra ammo versions for the tactical class. And right here, once again, is basically just the most amount of ammo and damage. Realistically, we don't really want to shoot enemies that are in block stances too much, but this allows us to deal damage. A lot of times we're shooting into crowds, so this does deal some damage to blocked enemies, and we need to take the path anyway. So that is how you build that right there. Then we have the bolt rifle, taking the more ammo version of this as well, and just going with the most amount of damage and headshot damage. And for our melee weapon, we'll just be taking the top path all the way down, using the stomp, taking less damage on using the combo, getting 2 stomps, a little extra damage, and a little extra damage. Pretty much we just use it to get the little dudes off us. Couple of strategic hits on major enemies. So for the most part, this is exactly what we want. Don't really need anything from the bottom. The stomp is really what lets us clear ads, and when we do hit elites with it, they get a debuff, so that is really nice. And that is the tactical class. Now, the assault class, once again, we'll start with the skill tree. This is a little bit more bottom path. We're going to take non-finisher gun strikes, also restore armor. This is mostly for hard difficulties when you have to do multiple gun strikes. Now, we're going to be taking the killing enemies in rapid succession so we can get like multiple melta grenades. This is excellent to get multiple meltas. And then this is a little bit more consistent overall damage than the 15 on the majors or extreme. This also lets us clear out ads a little bit faster. We're going to lose 5%, so I took the 10% overall. Also, this does not cover Terminus. And then for the team perk, definitely 100%, we want bonus damage on gun strikes. Gun strikes deal a lot of damage. And then for setting up your ground pound, we got our ground pound dealing a lot of damage, but it doesn't have a large blast radius. But when we come in, we want to be able to try to just like get that one parry and gunshot and then get the double shot execution. Now, if you're really good with the time dodges, then yeah, you can take these two. I didn't really fuck with that. I kind of like using mine more for the ground pound and just focusing more on not using the ability for the dodge. So I didn't put those two there. But if you're really good with getting that in, then you can definitely do that. And just to show you the perk tree for the weapon, we're basically taking the pummel smash bonus damage and aftershock gains additional spin. Main reason for taking the path all the way down. Then we also get melee damage against the minors by 20%, which helps us clear ads a lot faster. And we get 10% on the majors. So we're going to be taking that path right there. And just to show you, 100% taking the fencing so we can parry, and we get lots of parries. And same path as the other one. This is the heavy bolt one, so this is a little bit different, but it's the same concept. We have basically the most amount of damage on headshots as we possibly could, and this one comes in with bonus damage against Terminus, so it's pretty decent if you need a put in some shots. For the most part, honestly, the heavy bolt actually puts in a pretty decent damage. You can kill a few elites with your magazine. Moving on to the Vanguard. Going to start with after a perfectly timed parry or dodge, we don't lose control. Then we're going to be taking perfect parry window increases, but this one right here is really good as well. I kind of like this because it's like just guaranteed left and right perfect parries, but it's not really hard to land them. So if you're very confident with your perfect parries, you can very confidently take conviction. Then same thing, we have this right here, which is great to get back our melter grenades, only 10 enemies. But this is also really key and staying alive when you have low health. 50% bonus perfect dodge window. So this is pretty big on defense. So you're just going to have to take dealer's pick right there. For the most part, when I need to dodge, I'm just like very still because you can't interrupt your actions anyway. So I went for the extra grenades, but both of these are really good alternatives as well. It's going to be based off your playstyle. Then definitely taking this for the team perk though. And to get the most out of our ability, we're going to be taking it like this. This one isn't that bad, but this one catches a lot of like 2 or 3 elites at the same time and kills little groups of mobs and knocks them back. So I don't know. I like Shockwave. Collateral damage isn't bad, but I prefer Shockwave. And then for the signature, you're going to be taking Emperor's Blessing. For the weapon, we have the Instigator Bolt Carbine. We have the perk tree set up like this. Now I took it to the recoil. This allows you to spam into mobs a little bit more offensively. Alternatively, could have taken the armor restoring a little bit faster, or shots penetrate block stances, but this only deals 25% of the damage. And honestly, you should be lining up your parry when something is coming at you with a block stance, or setting up a charged attack, or shooting them in the head. Because if you're burning through ammo at 25% damage, you will run out of ammo. So it's just much easier with this weapon, which is pretty high headshot damage to begin with, to just shoot the little dudes in the head once, or line up the parry on the big dudes. You do not need to be putting damage in at 25% damage. And then we have our pistol right here. This is just the most amount of damage per shot. Lastly, we have our chainsword. This is mainly built into the stomp for clearing out ads. Then we have a additional on the stomp, a little damage on the major, and additional on the light for clearing ads. Pretty much, it really doesn't matter which path you go too much, but I do like the stomp, and this 50% area of effect radius is really nice. Also, it makes any elites that we hit at the same time deal less damage for 4 seconds, so that is pretty sweet. And we take less range damage, and we gain an additional stomp, and we deal more damage when doing our combo. So it's pretty basic. It's what we need, what we're using when we use it. So we're just going to take the entire path all the way to the end. Next, we have the Bulwark. First, we have after a shield bash, melee damage increases by 25% for 5 seconds. Very easy to land the shield bash, so this allows us to get our melee damage up a lot. Strategically against 1v1s and 1v2s, we can use that to get a lot of extra damage. Alternatively, we do have a really good defensive one too. When our armor is fully depleted, we take 25% less for 5 seconds. So that's anytime it's depleted. If we do get it back quickly, then we get that again for 5 seconds. So that's not bad. Right after you lose your armor, get a nice defensive buff for 5 seconds. So kind of got to pick, do you want defense or do you want offense? Then we're going to be taking defense over here when we're surrounded by more than 5 enemies. Then we're going to be taking more defense with restoring armor on gun strikes. Now, this is for more ruthless and substantial when you're always fighting bosses and sometimes multiple bosses. For easy difficulty, because contested health fades so quickly, I kind of think the delay, reducing it by 5 seconds, 20%, is really not that bad. Alternatively, you could use this as well, especially in the future if there's a way to get your health back pretty quickly. But we have the banner for this class, so honestly, for the team, I would either take this on easy or this on hard. And then we have Shield Bash, causes them to lose control. We're also using that to boost damage, so when we stun them, we can land a couple of hits. Then we have our banner activates, so we can use the exploit where we get white health and heal. not really exploit, it's just something we can do. Then we have all squad members within the banner deal extra damage. If you really want, you could go defense. The revive one isn't really that needed with how fast you can revive. Then we have if any armor remaining, we do not lose control on heavy hits and can't be knocked back. Then we're going to take the plasma pistol. We're going to be taking it with the most amount of ammo because basically almost all these weapons, the ammo capacity outweighs getting slightly more damage per shot. And for this one, we're going to be taking kind of a mixture. We're going to be taking very fast charge shots and damage to terminus. It's pretty much just really charge shots. And that's all you really do use because you're kind of using your shield and your sword a lot with the Bulwark class as well. And to show you the sword, we 100% are taking the fencing for the most amount of parries because that's where we get our true damage. A lot of our damage is from gun strikes with this class. And we're taking a little bit extra melee damage there. We had 10% against major, 20% against minor. This is actually not bad for clearing out the shielded sword dudes. I took the 5%, but honestly, this is pretty damn good for clearing out those sword dudes as well. So that is a alternative that you can use. For the most part, the rest of the stuff, it really didn't matter too much. We couldn't get to the light combo. We couldn't take that, so it was just a little bit extra overall damage I took for the last one. Our first perk for our sniper could either be 25% damage against blocking or shielded enemies, because when you get trapped up by a bunch of those little shielded dudes, it can be annoying, and a couple of hip fires into the crowd can generally get rid of most of them. But they recently reduced the count to only 4 of them on the screen at once. So we should be able to now we revive squad members faster, not really meleeing major enemies. But you could try this and see if it's still needed if you get trapped up by shielded dudes a lot. And if not, you're not really shooting blocked enemies. So you can just go for you revive faster. Then we're going to be taking bonus damage when we're standing still. 20% no brainer. Then we're going to be taking when we kill more than one enemy with one shot, especially hip fires into crowds of enemies. We get a free shot because it restores our weapon ammo by 1. Then we're taking headshot kill for all team members, restores 10%. Mainly us though. When we get a kill, we get 15% back on our camo. We're taking 75% bonus damage. Now, this is mostly for Ruthless. You could go with this as well for defense. But to get those one-shot headshot kills, we need that bonus damage. And then we need to get the headshot to get our camo back. And this is so we can actually evade after we take the shot. We want to be able to actually see what's on the board, so we get 2 seconds of remaining hidden. Really big with sniping with this class. We can also go infinite camo. I have a video on that recently on my channel you can check out. And you can do that at any point in time. You sacrifice the bonus damage, but you can take very quick shots and remain in stealth. And then lastly, we have a little bit of a safety net. If we take lethal damage, then our camo activates for 5 seconds, and we get that every 3 minutes. So that's a pretty nice signature right there. And this is a no-brainer for the rifle. We need the ammo. These two are just 100% out. Barely 20 shots is manageable, and we have to make it 24 really. We got the charge, we got the damage, and we got the capacity. That's all we went. That's all we need. So we took that for the rifle. Bolt pistol is the same as the other classes. It's just if we need to pull it out, it's just bonus damage. Now, I haven't shown you the knife yet for any of the classes, but 100% we're still taking fencing. We don't parry as much, but gun strikes hurt. So if we do get trapped up, we want the ability to put those gun strikes in. And then it's basically the same thing. I took the bottom path because I kind of like this thing right here, the shoulder bash, where you get the AoE effect when you're meleeing. Don't really use this. I mean, you don't really use the knife. So, I mean, you could take the top path. I don't really think it makes a damn difference. I mean, honestly, you don't really use the knife. So, I just took the one with the AoE effect because it kind of looks cool when you're dashing, and I kind of found it fitting for the sniper. But I don't really feel the build on the knife really makes that much of a difference. This class actually does make pretty good use of the Multi Melta or the Melta rifle, because it's not the Melta rifle, he has the Multi Melta variant, and he actually can get a lot of shots with it. So I'm going to be going into both of those in a moment, but once again, we'll start with the skill tree. So if you're going to be using the minigun, then you want restoration. If you're using the multi melta, then you want multi kill. And in no case do we want that. Then we take health increases by 20%, bonus damage when Iron Halo is active. Now, if you're playing on Ruthless and maybe Substantial, definitely Bonds of Brotherhood. If you're playing on Easy, then you can probably get away with ammo capacity, but with all the ammo capacity you're going to have anyway, you personally probably don't need it, and neither do your teammates because you got so many ammo pouches. So, personally, you might as well just go with that, but if you want to see large numbers on your ammo capacity, you always have that option as well. And then we have more melta grenades. Definitely melta grenade is the best one to be using when getting the free grenade. And we have more energy and bonus damage. Lastly, we are recharging our team's ability as much as possible. You should always be like using your ability for like 5 seconds to keep your team's ability up. So we'll start with the multi melta. This one we're going to be taking the bonus damage or the range. It's kind of like dealer's pick. If you want a lot of shots, take the capacity. If you want a lot of range, take the range. Both are pretty good. One I think comes to 50 shots, and I think this one comes to like 34 or something. And once again, the perk tree is going to be the same on both of them. The heavy bolter is another really nice weapon for the heavy. You can go with the insane mag size, or you can go with the little extra firepower or venting speed. It's kind of dealer's choice how you want to have your setup. You do have enough bullets, even on Ruthless, to not run the extra mag, but you're allowed. The heavy bolter is another really nice weapon for the heavy. You could dump bullets for days with the extra mag, or you can get a little extra firepower or venting speed. That's going to be dealer's choice. You do have enough bullets without taking this, but this version allows you to really let the bullets fly. So we're going to be taking the bonus damage while in heavy stance, penetrating additional targets from when we want to clear out ads, and then cooling reduction and additional ammo. If you actually run the 25% bonus perk versus the healing when reviving teammates perk for your team perk, you can basically have nearly 1,000 rounds with this heavy bolter, which is actually really fun to use. And then we have the perk tree for the plasma, which is going to be the extra ammo capacity as well, and same as the last one with charging faster and increased damage on Terminus. And that is how to build all the classes right now. Best team perks, pretty much everything you need to know for building your skill trees and the best weapons to look out for. If you liked the video, leave a like, comment, share. It helps others find the video. I hope this helped.